I don't know why I always start with that. Like,
We are back.
we're back. That's like our new tagline.
I
Well,
know.
hi, you guys. Welcome to the Miles with Moms podcast, a podcast for moms chasing goals through all seasons of life. I'm Olivia.
I'm Shanna. And
No,
then our
and
guest,
we
our
have our
guest over
guest.
here.
We've got Amy.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
I'm excited.
We are bringing you training tips, mom and expert interviews, and the kind of best friend banter that makes you feel like you're on a run with us. Whether it's your first 5K, your next marathon, or a stroller tempo, we've got your miles and your sanity. Since we're building a new platform, we'd really appreciate it if you can rate, subscribe, and share this podcast with a fellow mama runner. That goes a long way. We really, really appreciate it. All right.
Yeah,
Do you have a mom shout out for us, Shanna?
I do. So Sabrina, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name, Sabrina. I'm going to call you Sabrina S because I don't know if it's how it's spelled, but I'm just not going to go there. But Sabrina, you can find her at Sabrina, and then her last name is Samaroo. It sounds like Samaroo, but it just doesn't sound right. Is it?
I don't know. That's how I would have read it, which I think
Okay.
is adorable. Like, because you
It's
can
so
rhyme it
cute.
with so many things. So
I
your
know.
kids they can be Samaroo kangaroo.
Samaroo kangaroo.
That's so cute.
But anyway, so she said, "Hi, my name is Sabrina. I am a CPA and a mom of 2, ages 3 and 6. After becoming a mom, I realized I wanted to build strength, energy, and habits that supported not just my family and my work, but myself as well. After feeling defeated by all that there was to do, I decided to find an old pair of running shoes. We've all been there. Those 4-year-old ones that are in the back of your closet.
Yeah.
I decided to find an old pair of running shoes and start running one day. What started as simply a way to move more to carve out time for myself in a busy season of life quickly became something much deeper. Each run reminded me that I could do hard things. It wasn't about pace or distance at first. It was about showing up, building strong habits and discipline, and proving to myself that I was stronger than I thought. Running helped me feel grounded and energized, and it became a way to model healthy habits for my kids, showing them what it looks like to set goals and keep going. Even when life was tough, and boy, some days were tough. Cue the lack of sleep and kids are sick. Now I'm passionate about encouraging other moms to do the same, to find movement that makes them feel strong, to prioritize their own well-being without guilt, and to remember that every step counts. You don't have to run fast or far just to just start, and trust that those small moments of showing up for yourself will impact every part of your life. I
Aw,
love
that's
that so
amazing.
much.
That's so great. That's amazing.
You're
And
awesome, Sabrina.
yeah, we can relate that some of those days are just so tough.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Amy with us. How are you guys doing? How you doing, Amy?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
excited to chat.
Good.
I'm
Yay.
excited to dive into your background. You have like such a really like in-depth story, like from so many angles, from like medical to your pregnancy. Like it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot. There's like
Yeah, I'm
it
sure.
keeps going.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we should just get right into it and like let's get your background and everything. So I'll read your intro. This is what Amy sent over to us. I'm Amy. I'm a runner and run coach who's been running for about 12 years. I recently finished up my lifelong goal of running a half marathon in every state, and now I'm working on a new goal of running in every national park with my husband as we start our family. That's awesome. That's so cool.
So cool. Yeah.
So you're Race Across the States on Instagram. So I'm sure if you're watching this, you recognize her. She has a pretty big account, and it's been so neat watching you go to every state, because I think it's like something that a lot of us would put in our head, like, oh, that sounds really cool, but to
Yeah.
actually act on it is so cool. Like,
And finish it. Like, and actually finish the goal. Like, that is like the most impressive part. Cause I think we all start with a goal and then it's like, I don't know, my ADD brain like wants to go, oh, I want to go do this now and this. But the fact that you finished it is like so impressive.
It's crazy to me. I mean, it's still crazy to me that it's over. Like it just is such like a huge goal in like such a time. Like
Yeah.
it just took so long that it's like insane to me that it's done.
yeah.
Yeah.
When did you start?
I started Oh, man, I think it was, like, 2012 or 2013, about 12 years ago. I was,
Oh
like
my gosh.
that's when I started running,
So
so
impressive.
probably about 12 years ago, and then I finished last October, so a
That's
year ago.
So cool.
Oh, it's been a
Yeah.
year. That's
I
crazy.
know. I don't know where this thing went.
I know.
I know, that's wild. I feel like it's, like, almost
Like,
manageable in your head to work them out, but then Alaska and Hawaii would be the hardest,
yeah.
I feel like, to especially Alaska, because like, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
trek. That would be a trek to get up there.
Yeah, Alaska and Hawaii were tough, and there were a lot of states that were just a lot more expensive than I thought that they were. I was like,
Oh,
"Wait, why is Montana so expensive?"
Right.
Like,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
That's so
so, yeah, just a lot of different things came with that entire journey, but insane to think that it
yeah,
took about 10 years, and it was amazing.
that's so cool. What a great way to also see a place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, lots of interesting stories and lots
I
of, like,
bet.
not so great races and stuff like that.
yeah.
But, I mean, it was all fun.
Yeah. What's, like, your most memorable one?
Oh, man, there are so many, but I feel like, obviously, the first one is great, like, I
Mhm.
did Chicago as my first one, and nothing beats your first half marathon, I feel like, it just is
So true.
such a vibe, like, it's what led me to continue. But there are some that were just, like, super surprising to me, like Maine. I, like, never expected to go to Maine in my life, and when I
Yeah.
did, it was, like, this incredible, beautiful place. I was like, "Oh, well, I'm in here, like,
That is
this
really
is
cool.
awesome." And, like, I did almost all of them my mom came with, so there's just a lot of
Oh.
special memories and moments along the way. She's a pretty clumsy person, so there are a lot of injuries as well came with that.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
she fell into a cactus at one
Oh
point.
my
Oh
gosh.
my god.
Broke her ankle in Alaska, like,
Are
just,
You're
you
like,
like,
"You're
serious?
not even the one that's
on the
running."
top of
Oh
the mountain, nonetheless. Like, mid-hike, top of the mountain, breaks her ankle, like,
Did
no.
you have to carry her down?
Jared did have to carry
Oh
her.
my god.
That's so sad. That's
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 crazy.
crazy.
It was
But
the
that's
last
a great
day,
story.
so that's good, but
Wow.
yeah,
Oh my
insane.
gosh. That is so wild. That's so fun. So did you when you first got into running, did you start off with that goal? You were like half marathon, 50 states, or was it after your first one you were like, I'm gonna do this, but 49 times more in other places?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. I did not start out with the goal. So first, like, my cousin asked me to do my first half marathon. I reluctantly said yes and was like, "Okay, sure, I'll train for this, whatever," like, one and done. Really liked it. So then she asked me to do another one in Wisconsin, which is where I was born and raised. So went
Oh,
home, did another half marathon, just like the local half marathon there with her. And I was like, "Oh, I, like, did better, like, my time improved, like,
Yeah.
that's kinda cool." So, then I signed up for one in Ohio, which is where I live now, just a local half marathon, and did not get better at that one. That one did not go as planned, but a little seed was planted that, like, "Oh, I kinda like these," and my mom kinda brought up, like, the idea of maybe you could do one in Indiana, and then you could have, like, the whole Midwest. So
That's so cool.
I did one there, and then she kinda floated the idea of, like, "Maybe you should just keep going." So,
that's
that
wild.
after that 4th one is when I was really like, "I'm gonna just see if I can do this. Let's see
Yeah.
if I can actually do all these states." So,
My gosh.
when that was born.
That's really cool. I mean, 4 half marathons is already really impressive. So, like, just the jump from, like, tackling the whole Midwest to and it's cool then too that you were able to, like, have your account and have people along for that
Yeah.
journey, especially because like, I mean, like, you started it a while ago, like, a whole decade ago is a it's not like this thing that you were just doing for Instagram essentially, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I started the Instagram after I started the States, and
it's cool.
it was just a good way for me to be able to document, like, "Oh, there's some fun memories of these things, like, maybe I
Yeah,
should have something where I'm sharing this or saving all of it." So, it was a good
yeah.
way. It all just kinda happened together.
That's so cool. That's amazing.
So was it that half marathon that got you, like, into the sport then of
Yeah.
running? Like, did you ever run, like, prior, ever think about you'd be a runner or anything like that?
I ran as a child, but I
Okay.
ran, like, shorter distances, and I didn't love it because I didn't love how stressful it was
Yeah.
as, like, an individual sport, so I switched over to soccer shortly after
So
starting
cool.
running and
There it
played
is.
soccer all
I
throughout.
told
Yeah.
you, Olivia.
Every time, I know,
I
every
told
time.
you.
Okay, soccer is the gateway to running, I feel like.
See,
Yeah.
every fast runner that I literally every single time, I'm like, "They're a soccer player." If they're fast or they're fast in their adulthood and they never ran, they were a soccer player. Like, it's just
Irony was I
so
probably shoulda just ran in high school because
Yes.
I wasn't actually that good at soccer.
you
Like,
probably would have been so good, like
I was good at running. Like, I was good
yeah,
at the running part. Like, I was always outside mid or
that's
striker
I was
because,
gonna
like,
ask, yeah.
I could run for sure, and
Yeah.
my coach even explicitly said, like, "You're not making the team because you're good. Making the team because you set the bar at conditioning." And I'm like, "Okay."
Wow, that's awesome. That's
Oh
so
my
awesome.
gosh,
I
I
should have
love that
known
so
at
much.
that point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's so
So
neat.
so why the half marathon? Like, I feel like when we see a lot of adult runners, they come in, right? And I've been seeing a lot more lately that it's the half marathon and the marathon. And it's
uh-huh.
crazy because like, as a lifelong runner, like, the first event that I would go into would be the 5K. I'd be like, "Oh, I could train for a 5K all day, every day." And it's crazy, a lot of adult runners, they tend to lean towards the more of the distance side of things. So I'm curious, like, what made you stay connected to the half marathon distance and see your goal out? Like, was there like a draw to the race or the strategy of the race?
So the first half marathon, the reason I did it is, I mean, in Chicago, I think it was just a half marathon, I'm pretty sure. And we did it to raise money for, I think, children's cancer, like research, because my cousin, her brother passed away when we were younger. So like it
Okay.
was kind of like this thing we were doing in his honor. So she was doing the half marathon. She wanted me to do the half marathon. I was a soccer player. So I was like, this won't be that bad. It was bad. Like I walked
Yeah.
walked a lot. Like it was hard. But yeah, so did the half marathon with her. It was so hard, walked a lot. And then after that, like I feel like I chose the half marathon for my long-term goal because it was, like, worth it to travel, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
justified to travel, but it also didn't deter from the travel. Like, I don't wanna travel somewhere after a marathon. Like, after a marathon, I am sitting my butt wherever I am. Like, I am certainly not exploring the city beforehand. Like, it just doesn't allow for as much flexibility, and also, like, I can bang out a half marathon, like, once a month. Like, I can't do
Yeah.
that with a marathon. Like, you're training for, like, 1 or 2 a year. Like,
yeah,
you're not that is too long of a goal for me. I don't have that kind of attention. Like, half marathons, I can do that.
that's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
But
I
you
love that mindset too, because I feel like people are like there are some people that are putting out 4 or 5 a year with the marathon. And I'm like,
Yes.
am I like a wuss? Like maybe I just like need to
No,
like pump up the self-confidence or something. But it's crazy. Like I'm the same
no,
way.
even emotionally, I'm like,
Yes. It wipes me.
Yeah,
it wrecks me.
it's so draining. I was gonna say because 'cause have you run 3 marathons?
4, and I'll
4.
be running my 5th next weekend, so
Oh,
Woo!
wow, that's exciting. So you can speak from experience of, like, having done multiple half marathons, obviously, and fitting in marathon training into all of that. And
yeah, yeah, it wasn't I didn't start doing marathons until I've done 1 per year for the past 4 or 5 years, and so it wasn't until very far into my running journey that I did a marathon, and I qualified for Boston the first time I ever did a marathon because of that, because, like, I had been doing so many or half marathons up until that point, so, like, it really does show that, like, everybody comes to running and, like, to different distances from such a different spot,
Mhm.
so, like, you can't really compare, like, anybody's journey to each other's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a good point. It's so true. I mean, to me, the half marathon, it's like very hard distance. I don't know why. It's like the effort is so I can talk about it all day long. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's because in my head, I'm like, it's only 13 miles. But
Mhm.
then when you're in it and you're like, I'm at mile 9, I have 4 to go.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
I've mastered the half marathon distance. Like, even
you
when, like,
have.
the race predictors, like, you put in your
Love it.
time to, like, predict your marathon or whatever,
Yeah.
it was telling me I could do, like, a 3:40 or a 2:40 something marathon,
Oh,
and I was like,
yeah.
"There's no way, like, there's
You
no way I
yes, you can.
can." Like, I don't have the experience that I have with the half, like, I've perfected the half, like, the half
Yeah.
Yeah.
marathon. So, it's just funny how different distances are so much harder or easier for us.
It's so true. I mean, that's also, like, we have to give you credit on that too, is you didn't just
Yeah.
do the half marathon, you are very fast at the half marathon. Like, you've put out some insanely fast times, which is super, super cool that you were
I
able
did
to
not think that was
experience
ever gonna happen.
it.
So
I bet.
impressive.
It just, like, gradually again, like, gradually happened over the course of 10 years. I
Yes.
mean, if you're
Yeah.
consistently running that same distance, you're gonna get better.
Yeah. Yep. It's so true. It just shows there's, like, no fast pass to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, your marathon next weekend, which one are you doing?
Columbus, so it's a local
Ooh,
one. I've done
fancy.
it before. It was my first marathon, so it's
Oh,
the second time I'll have done it, but I definitely won't beat my time from the first time since I will be pregnant. But
yes.
Yeah.
excited. It'll be fun.
Very cool full circle moment.
I
I
know.
know. I'm really excited for it.
How have you been feeling, like, going into marathon training now pregnant? Like, have you been seeing, like, some major differences from, like, your last marathon build? And, like, what are some things that you've been noticing, like, within your body that's like, "Wow, I need to adjust because now I'm growing a human being inside of me."
Yeah, it has been very humbling, very, very different. Running just, like, any step, like, any amount, anything is just, like, you just are like, "What is this?" Like, "What is
Yeah.
happening to me?" So, that was at first, I wasn't sure I was gonna do it, right? So, I signed up for the
Yeah.
marathon before I found out I was pregnant, was originally gonna go for a sub 3. Very like, quickly found out I was pregnant, like, shortly after signing up, like, a few weeks later,
So
and was like,
crazy.
"Okay, this might not happen for me," and that was during, like, week 5 when I still was feeling good, and I was like, "Oh, we'll just see how weeks 6 to 10 go," and week 6 to, like, 9 were absolutely terrible, so I was, like, not well, was really sick, was throwing up, was just, like, so fatigued, I just could barely even think about running, and it was still really, really hot out, so it was, like, midsummer, I'm like, just every time I even walked outside, I feel like I was gagging. I was like, this is terrible."
Ugh.
But luckily, the way that it all worked out is that, like, as the weather started cooling down, I kinda got into second trimester, and my long runs were starting to get longer, so, like, it all kind of worked out in that way of, like, as the training got harder and more intense, thankfully, I was feeling better and had more energy, and, like, it all just kinda timed out in the exact right way, otherwise, I don't think I would have done it. It's been so hard, like, my pace has slowed down significantly, which is totally fine. I didn't intend to go into this with a pace goal in the beginning, like, when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, "No goal, no
Yeah.
time goal at all," like, "You're just going out to finish," and also just to pass the time. It's been great. It's been
Yeah.
a great way to, like, count down to something in a
Yeah.
different way that isn't related to the
Pregnancy.
pregnancy,
Yeah.
especially, like, during the first trimester when I was so anxious. It just gave me
Yeah,
something else to focus on and to be excited about.
No,
that's
I
so
think that's
great.
so smart. Like, it does. Like, 40 weeks sounds like an eternity when you're pregnant. You're like, especially the last trimester where you're like, I am 12 weeks of this. Like,
Yeah.
when is it gonna stop? You know? And so I think it's so smart for you to, and you've ran for so many years consistently. Like, you know your body, you're gonna be safe. I know you've had a lot of pushback, which is something I want us to lead into next because it's a perfect segue. But I've been reading some of, like, the comments that you've gotten. I don't know if they're from men or if they're from female. Unfortunately, like, I've gotten both from both genders, unfortunately, and it breaks my heart, you know. I don't know how much you want to go into like your pregnancy loss, because that is such a near and dear, like it makes me emotional for you, because it's like something that I wish like no mom ever had to go through. You know, and it just like the way you held yourself so high and to put yourself back out there and to take your audience along, like that put you in a very vulnerable state. And I feel like because of that, there's just some people that took advantage of that, and the comments that you got that you had to read in your heartbreak, in your
Mhm.
despair of that moment, like it made me so angry for you. And so I don't know if you want to talk about that, but just when you had your pregnancy loss, did you feel like people what do you wish that people would have understood more, or how they could better support a mom that is going through that phase?
Yeah, I I had so many comments, and I knew I was opening that door when I chose to share, but on the flip side, I felt so alone that I was like, there's no way I could not share because I know other people have gone through this. And like, I know, one, I'm not alone, but also like, hopefully they know they're not alone too because they're not. And like, seeing somebody who has this big platform and seemingly is doing all these things, like, seeing that everybody is going, like, can go through these same thing and is susceptible to these same challenges is like, I think it's empowering, but it was very hard to read some of the comments, and I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions out there around pregnancy and fitness in general, and just pregnancy in general, but a lot of people definitely blamed my running and everything. You know, we did an ultra marathon a few days before, but
I
it turned
know.
out I had lost the baby weeks before the ultra. So there's a lot of intricacies that you wouldn't know unless you knew. And, you know, unless you're reading a entire biography in an Instagram post, you're not going to know all those details in every single post. So I think people take what they want from a post and they don't always dig into like some of the other stuff you've shared that may have shed some light on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people feel really brave behind a keyboard. I don't think anybody would have
Yes.
Mhm.
actually said that in real life, but it also
No.
just shows how many people don't know anything about how like how women's bodies work just in general, but also when you're pregnant, you know, and I don't know like how many of those people that had commented that were men, but I think a lot of it is to put you down, you know, and
Mhm.
I think that's it's so confusing. It's so confusing as the person reading it too, like why anybody would, you know, want to be like that. But I think it's so good the way that you took the comments and highlighted them.
Yeah.
And you have to,
I think
you
it's
know, it's like,
important. Like,
yeah,
it's comes down to, like, do these people not think that I already felt like
Yeah.
yes,
blamed myself? Like, do they think that I don't already feel like it was my fault? Because I
Yeah.
do, even though I know it's not. So, like,
Mhm.
yeah,
them saying these things, like, don't you think I already feel that way?
Mhm.
yeah,
It's the same with, like, them pointing out insecurities about, like, how people look and stuff. It's like, don't you think
mhm,
that's already an insecurity of mine? Don't you think I'm aware of, like, it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
I just don't understand when people do that because, like, why? Don't
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
like
I think one, people don't understand miscarriages that much. I think that people
No.
don't realize that women are walking around all the time having them actually, that they're
Mhm.
extremely common, and it could happen to a completely sedentary person as well. You could
Yes.
find out you're pregnant, sit down and still have a miscarriage. It's something that happens, but I think that, you know, putting the information out there and reminding people that they're allowed to do that, and you can go run, you can continue to do the hobby or sport that you like to do if you were already doing it, and that mom's guilt, it'll start the second you're always questioning things, like from the second you find out you're pregnant, whether it's 3.5 weeks at your very first miss period or it's way later, you're gonna be like, can I eat this? Is it bad for the baby? Like, and you're like,
Yeah.
you put on pants and you're like, "Ooh, these are a little tight. Is that bad for the baby?" Like, you can't do anything. You're still sleeping on your stomach and you're like, "Is that bad for the baby?" You're like, that happens. And so of course you're going to blame yourself. You don't need other people doing that.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
with a large platform, you are susceptible to that, you know?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
really tough.
What's like going through that experience, what's something that you would think that would be good for moms that are going through that? Like what are ways that we could help? I mean, even as women to like support other women that are going through those experiences. I think oftentimes like when I see somebody go through something hard, it's like trying to find that boundary like do they want to talk about it, but I don't want to press and like make them have to talk about it before they're ready, but just know that like, hey, I genuinely care. Like I want you to know that I'm here to support you however you need that.
Yeah, I think openly asking that question is so important. Like, "Hey, are you like, would you like to talk about this or would you prefer that I, like, don't bring this up?" Because I think people and I've shared about it and received both ends of, like, people being like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I wish I would have shared, like, da da da," or, like and then you have people who are like, "Oh, I could never feel comfortable sharing and, like, don't want other people to bring it up." So I think it comes down to the person and, like, really being open to asking and, like, even if it makes you uncomfortable to ask, like, asking that person, like, "Hey, would you like to talk about this, or would you prefer that we, like, you know, move forward and, like, don't bring it up?" Because for me, I had people do both things, like, I had some people who, I know they knew about the pregnancy, but then when I saw them, they opted to, like, not say anything, and
Oh,
it made
that's
me feel really icky because I was like, I don't feel like we've moved like, I've had a moment with you to, like you celebrated with me when you knew I
yeah.
was pregnant, but now you're not grieving with me that
Mm,
you know that I've miscarried. So, like, because it made them uncomfortable, I think a lot of people just didn't bring it up and just kinda, like, moved past it without really asking me, like, "Hey, do you wanna chat about this?" Or, like, "How are you guys doing?" Like, "How are you coping?" So I think just asking because for me, I liked when people at least expressed something or like,
yeah.
said, "I'm here for you. I'm sorry that this happened," whatever it may be, because it made me feel like we could move forward, like, from after that, like we had moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's something that we could all improve on. I know like it is such a hard conversation to have and you never want to overstep anybody's boundary, but I would hate if somebody were to be like, "Wow, you don't care that I literally just went through this." Like that's a
Mhm.
very heavy thing to carry and something you'll always carry the rest of your life. Like I think
Yeah.
that's another hard part is like everybody else kind of moves on with your next pregnancy, but you're kind of like in this bittersweet moment where you're like excited for this next baby, but you're also still in the grieving stage, and so I
Mhm.
can't imagine, like, how much tug of war goes on in your mind and in your heart, like, between you and, your husband, like, just that's hard, that's a lot of weight that people don't get to see from you.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster, like, thinking about the roller coaster that I've been on this year, it's just
Yeah.
so much, it's so
Mhm.
many emotions in such a small amount of time that, like, it really is just hard to fathom, like, it's, like, hard to fathom all the highs and lows because, like, the highs are like, finding out you're pregnant is one of
I know.
it's, like, a feeling unlike anything else, like, because there's so much chance that goes into it, there's so much that has to go right to make it
Yeah.
happen.
Mhm.
And so, like, of course, when you find out, it's this moment of just, like, insane, like, joy and, like, excitement, but then finding out you've lost that thing that, like, has brought you such joy and excitement is, like, the exact opposite. It's, like, the worst possible thing you could ever feel because you have to reframe what you thought your entire life was going to look like in 9 months, like, in however many months, like, your entire vision of your life changes just so fast, and you have to kinda grieve that and move forward knowing that, your life will still be wonderful and more good things are to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really glad you're talking about that. It's just really hard because once you're a mom, it's like and or when you're in pregnancy and how far along are you, Amy? Are you
17 weeks.
Oh,
Oh
that's
my
awesome.
gosh!
So amazing. That's amazing. And,
Almost
like,
halfway.
you have, like, your little bump, and it's true, you are envisioning this life, and we were just talking about this on a run today where you're talking about, like, the name, and, like,
Mhm.
I like to know, and then I like to have a name for them so I can call them by that name, and you do like within an hour of finding out you're pregnant, you are envisioning an entire life. And I feel like I feel like a lot of times miscarriages are talked about in such a past tense and like it was never experienced in the moment. And
Uh-huh.
so it's very confusing, I think, if for people to understand how much grief can be experienced within that time. And then also that it's scary to try again, I'm sure, after that. Like,
Yes.
I can't imagine what that would be like, but it's even if you were unsure about having a baby, like the moment you find out you're pregnant, it would clarify that very quickly
Yeah.
for you, you know?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bet that was,
There's a lot after trying, and, like, we knew we wanted a baby, so, like,
Mhm.
there's also just such a different feeling when you, like, were trying so hard for it, and then, like, it all turns out, and then it gets taken away. It's just, like, an even harder thing to accept because, like, you still want that thing, you
Yeah.
still that's still your goal, but, like,
Yeah.
re trying again is just really hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the same way with anything. Like, I like to like tell people who I've talked to about it, like failing is the risk we have to take in order to succeed. Like you have to be willing to risk failing in anything in order to get like to where you want to be and to grow and to get the things you really want. So like for me, that happening, it was like we told my niece after, like, when that we were pregnant the first time, and she's only 6, and so, like, when I found out I miscarried, we had to tell her, like, what happened, and we had to explain it to her, and she asked me if I was still gonna have a baby, and, like, I
Mm.
explained to her that, like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna give up, like, of course I am, like, we wanna we are sad, of course, and we're, like, mourning the loss of this baby, but also we want to keep trying, and so when we told her we were pregnant again, the joy that she had for
So
us was just, like
Oh,
it was, like, insane, like, she was so excited and telling us that, like, our baby is just gonna love us so much, and I think there is a power in, like,
so
it, like,
cute.
it
that's
really
so cute.
it's really meaningful when you do find out you're pregnant again, just, like, you get another chance at it, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is such a sweet response. Oh my
From a
gosh.
six-year-old too, like, it
She
sounds like such a mature
I
six-year-old.
she wrote us a letter in the mail. She even though
know.
she lives, like, 10 minutes away, she wrote us a letter and it said, "You are gonna be such a good mom. The baby is going to love you and Jared and me."
That's so
That
cute.
is so cute.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
really sweet.
Her parents are raising her well.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Has your so going into your next pregnancy, I can imagine that there's probably a lot of it's I mean, I don't want to compare two things that are hard, but like cancer, right? Like when you go through the you're like on the other end of it, you're clear, and now you're going to your checkups, right? Trying to make sure like it's not coming back. With your miscarriage, do you feel like when you go to your checkups that you're almost like holding your breath still, or do you feel like it gets easier with the further your pregnancy goes?
Oh, yes. So we were considered high risk from the very beginning, because of my thyroid and because of the previous loss. So going in, like, I felt high risk, like, I felt that, like, sense of, like, "Oh, the odds are against me." Like, something is like, everything has to go right or else it's gonna go wrong. So, those first few appointments, we went in really early since we were high risk. We got an appointment at 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, and 10 weeks. We
Wow.
had ultrasounds almost every week. Which was awesome, but it was very, very nerve-wracking. I had to get blood drawn at each of them to check my thyroid. So it really felt like I was holding my breath that entire time. I will say when we went in for our I think it was 10 or 12 week, my doctor, like, expressed to me that she had confidence in this pregnancy, and, like, I remember that meaning a lot to me because I felt a sense of confidence because she felt confident, and at 12 weeks, she told me we weren't gonna have another appointment until 16 weeks, and, like, my anxiety just, like, she could tell, like, visually that I was panicked, and she assured me that, like, "I have confidence in you, like, you need to have confidence in this pregnancy because, like, I know that this is going to work out for you, like, this is happening, like, the chances are so high of this happening at this point, like, I really do believe that this is gonna work out," and I think at that point, I did breathe a sigh of like, "Okay, like, I just need to believe that this is gonna work." And then when we went in for 16 weeks, of course, I was an absolute shit show again. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like,
Yeah,
what could have
yeah.
happened between then and now?" Like, but the minute that they like, you always wanna hear the heartbeat or you wanna
Yeah.
up on the monitor, but, like, before that could even happen, I could just see her flailing about, like, the baby was just, like,
Oh,
so active
gosh.
and moving, and I was like, "Oh, okay. It looks like everything's fine." So,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. That's amazing. That's
it was
yeah.
it was incredible. I mean, it goes from, like, such a small speck to, like, something that moves, and it's insane. It's so
Yeah.
great.
It is, it's so crazy and fast. It happens so
Yeah.
fast. That's what's we're just, like, going about our daily life, and, I mean, you're just a couple weeks away from anatomy scan, which is, like, the
Yeah.
really like, you could see their femur, and they're, like, measuring it, and you're like, "How is that even a thing now?"
Uh,
It's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's
That's
in 3
awesome.
weeks, so, yeah,
So
I'm so excited.
exciting.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That's great. Do you feel like you're overall feeling, like, good and, like, confident when you're going out there running and everything now?
Yeah, I do, and honestly, I did from the beginning for some reason, like,
That's
for
good.
some reason with running, I asked so many times at my appointment, like, and I even asked, like, I would, like, over ask, like, I'd be like, "Hey, I'm a runner," and they'd be like, "Yeah, that's fine, you can do whatever you were doing," and I'd be like, "No, no, no, I'm a really high mileage runner."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
"Okay, show off, like, you can still do what you
Okay,
want."
so
I'm like, "No, no, no, like, I don't think you understand, I want to run a lot."
I want to run a lot. I
You're
want
like
to run a marathon, okay?
yeah. Yeah. I went in
my
and told her
gosh.
about the marathon, she's like, "Yeah, again, we've had this conversation, like, are you experiencing any pain?" And I'm like, "No," and she's like, "Then you're fine." So, I really trusted in the fact that, like, my doctors knew what they were talking about, and they're like, I'm not the exception, like, this is fact for all women, like,
Mhm.
unless my body tells me that I'm an exception to this, like, advice, like, I'm not going to treat myself like I am. I'm gonna go in and do what I wanna do.
Throughout your pregnancy, what are some, like, adjustments that you've, like, had to make or change maybe within your training? Because you are a high mileage runner, but you're also a fast runner, and so I'm sure you probably have seen the difference in paces as far as, like, workout paces or if you're even going by that, and as well as your easy runs. Have you been able to, like, adjust it to that, and, like, how has that process been?
Yeah, so, I mean, going into it, like, definitely I adjusted mileage a lot during those early weeks when I wasn't feeling well because I just did not want to run, so it was just not possible, and I increased mileage kinda, like, again as I started feeling better and getting into, like, the bigger training weeks, but I definitely opted for mileage versus speed. Like, I'm not doing almost any speed, and that's okay with me. Like, if I do speed, it's usually at like a 5 to 6 out of 10 effort. Like, I'm certainly not going much higher than that. And I've been doing a lot of shorter intervals because to be honest, I just don't wanna do anything longer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm done with this. So, it does help me to do some little bursts of speed just because it, like, gives me a sense of what I was doing before,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I don't feel like I need to do that much speed right now. Like, this is a totally different season of my training in my life, and I like running, but I don't feel like I need to be training per se.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love that because I think people think it has to be all or nothing, right? Like they think when they go in their pregnancy, they have to kind of maintain the same exact thing. And I was just talking to, Olivia about this on our run today. I was like, I opened my schedule, my training schedule, and my coach, I think he still thinks I'm in marathon training mode when I kind of like hung up that goal. And it was like 2 mile warm up, 8 miles at goal marathon pace, 2 mile quota. I was like, I am pregnant. Like, I am breathing hard at 8 minute pace right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I just laugh because, like, he's a male, it's just different. And he's only coached a few athletes, and his wife didn't even run pregnant. But it's just funny. The adjustment it feels like it's like almost overnight. Like for me, at
Yes.
least it was. And it's just like it is very humbling, but I agree. Like I think if you want to sprinkle in maybe some strides or some fartlek workout in there and to keep it short and brief, just to remind yourself you can go fast.
Yeah. And I
um,
find I feel better after, like, I do
yeah,
a little speed workout. I'm like, "Oh, go me." Like,
yeah,
"Okay.
yeah.
Okay." Like, but, like, not every day. I'm like a
Not
rap
every day.
girl.
Doesn't
Like
it feel good though to just like take the gas pedal off for a second and
yes.
just like lean into this season? I mean, there has to be something that just like feels good about not being in like the grind of speed and PRs and all that stuff. Like either way, this is a PR for you because you've never run a
Yeah.
marathon pregnant. Like what? And
Yeah.
that's a full circle moment in itself.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's a balance of, like, you know, challenging yourself when you feel like challenging yourself and not challenging like, not adding anything extra when you don't feel like doing it. Like, I did a half marathon in DC a few weeks ago, and, like, my plan was to run it with my husband, but he was running a little slow, and I was like, "I'm gonna go." And he was like, "Okay, girl, you do you."
So
Like,
awesome.
go for it. And, like, I had a lot of fun, like, challenging myself that race,
yeah,
but I didn't go into it with the intention of that. It just felt right. Like, it
Yeah,
felt good in that moment, and I kept an eye on my heart rate, like, kept an eye on, like, "Hey, I know nothing's going wrong. I'm not having pain. Like, I
yeah,
all these things are good. I'm good. I'm safe." But, like, if it feels good to challenge yourself, like, have some fun and challenge yourself, but also, like, don't feel bad if you don't feel like doing that because almost every other day I've been like, "Absolutely not will I be doing any speed."
that's really funny. It's like the ultimate listening to your body. Like,
Yes.
yeah,
yeah,
Yes.
and
And I think people think that, like, pregnancy is, like, this, like, total exception, but, like, that's what we
Mhm.
do anyways. Like,
Yeah,
we are literally just runners and, like, we're still just doing the same thing. Like, if something hurts, don't do it. If something
yeah.
feels good,
yeah.
great. Like
It's so true. So true.
Have you noticed any difference, like, because I think you did a 20 miler recently, right? In your training
Yes.
block. How did you feel on that? Like, have you noticed, like, feeling wise, like, have you been able to, like, fuel easier? Do you feel like you have to do it more often with, like, hydration, bathroom stops?
Yes,
Oh,
so
yeah.
many
Bathroom
bathroom
stops.
stops. I am blessed to live somewhere that has porta potties, like, every other mile on a trail, and I'm like, "Holy crap, I never noticed that there were so many before until now." Like, well, we really are blessed, like, this is but, yes, during the 20 miler, I there were a lot of bathroom breaks, and also fueling it's been tricky just because like, it's so, so important, like, I feel like it was important before this, but I could, like, get away with, like, if
Yeah.
you forgot a gel or, like, whatever, like, I kinda wasn't I took it seriously, but not as seriously, but now it's like, this is so necessary, especially just with your energy later in the day, like, there's no way I'm getting a
Oh,
single thing done after this run if
Yeah.
I don't eat,
yeah.
like, so fueling has been good and, like, challenging. I will say I threw up the morning of that 20 miler and, like, I threw up my entire breakfast. It was like I was so panicked because I'm like, "Oh, no, like, now I've not fueled, and this is, like, the absolute worst case scenario." So, there's challenges. There is definitely additional challenges when it comes to the pregnant running.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think it's pretty rad that you did 20 miles as pregnant as you are, like, don't you wish that you could run with, like, a neon sign? Like, I am growing a freaking baby
Yes.
and I'm doing 20 miles. Like,
Yes, especially during this, like, in-between phase where, like, my bump isn't really a bump, I just look, like, bloated. I'm like,
yes.
"Somebody tell everybody that I'm pregnant."
You can wear a sash, you can wear a t-shirt, you can
You need to
whatever
wear
you
it.
want, you can do it. Yeah.
I need to
Oh
look
my god.
into it, and I will say for the marathon itself, I got very lucky. I made it into the elite bracket, which means I get bottle service, so, like, I don't have to carry all of my
That's so nice.
another reason that I was like, "I will do this marathon." Like, that is another bonus that,
That's awesome.
that makes it easier for me for sure, that I don't have
Oh,
to
yeah.
I can just plan it all out and pick it up along the way.
That's a
So
game
cool.
changer, actually.
Mhm.
That's really, really nice.
Yeah, I was like, "I will not be running with the elites, but I will certainly take all the perks."
For sure.
I love that you still took the opportunity, though. I think so many people shy away from that, but I'm like, you still earned that
I
spot.
earned
Like,
it. I'm
yeah,
going.
go take it.
Yeah.
Go take up space. You should.
Nobody needs it more than me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what is elite is running a marathon while 17
Pregnant.
plus weeks pregnant. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
elite if I've ever heard it. Yeah. That's so cool. Oh my
Yeah,
god. That's
I'm
so
excited.
exciting. It's funny because you're like, "Oh, I have, like, a little bump where it's not a bump yet," but, like, when you're looking in the mirror and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I really have a bump," but by, like, 34 weeks, if you ever look back at this picture, you're gonna be like, "Wow, I did not have a bump at all."
Everybody
Like,
keeps
that
saying it, and I'm like, I could see that. I could definitely see that, but for now, I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, I am huge." Like,
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, yeah, and take
I
so
will
many
say
pictures.
my husband has been super sweet because it was hard, like, it was hard to, like, start outgrowing some of my
Yeah.
clothes, and, like, one of the hardest parts about running has been looking in my closet to choose what to wear for a run because, like, my sports bras are tight, my shorts are a little tight, like, everything is just a little tight and uncomfortable, and, like, there were a lot of things that were just on the edge of too small before I got pregnant that
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that thing is just an impossibility." And so
Yeah.
my husband, like, went through my entire closet with me, and, like, we took out everything that, like, made me feel uncomfortable, like, I tried on everything, and he was like, "Anything that we need to put in a box until after pregnancy should just be, like, put in storage, like, let's just take it out." And then he went through all of his shirts and, like, donated them to me and, like, was
Oh,
like
that's the best.
he was like, "This is now yours, this is now yours." Like
That's the best. Oh my god.
so finding little things like that, I feel like really help you stay motivated too, because honestly, it was like a motivation suck. Every time I went to go get
Mhm.
dressed for a run, I was like, I don't like how I feel. I don't like how I look. And like cleaning out everything that made me feel like that, like really was like, okay, now I have confidence when I go in my closet, like that everything in here I feel good in for
Mm.
now. Like for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I'm so glad you talked about that. That's actually such a good point because when you're pregnant, you don't I mean, I already don't like tight clothes at all, but when you're pregnant too, like, you feel super bloated in those early days. Like, you're
Yep.
so bloated, and you're still getting used to this new little bump that you have, and then, when you go out and run, you wanna feel good. You don't want something super tight on you anyway, and it
Mhm.
really can it can just make it seem like, "Well, nothing fits and I don't feel very good," and then you're kind of hot anyways, and it's like, "Well, maybe just not today."
Yeah.
And yeah, like, it's worth it to buy some,
Mhm.
maternity things once you get a little bit bigger or, like, I mean, what I guess whenever it's comfortable, actually. That was a
Mhm.
huge game changer for me was just finally just leaning into just wearing something right over the like,
Yeah.
that went all the way up to my waist, like
Yeah. I feel like my
yeah.
shorts are going, like, all the way to my
Oh,
boobs.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
You're like,
That's
I feel like a grandma out there, but whatever. It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's like that awkward stage of, like, do I cover my bump or do I leave it out? And, like, it
yeah.
looks really weird to leave it out right now.
Oh my god.
Looks like a Chipotle burrito. You're just like, I swear I'm
Yeah.
pregnant.
You just gotta keep rubbing it, and then others will be like, "Oh, that's she's
Yes,
clearly indicating the universal sign of I'm pregnant." So,
It
yes.
is.
Do that
yeah.
at the gym, like, I'll be like, "Oh." Like
Yeah.
Well, it's really hard because you are so skinny and so fit. Like the bump is gonna take a while for you to really like see a like definite bump where people are gonna be like, is she pregnant? Do I ask? And that's like even more awkward. You're like, just ask, okay? Like just let me own it. But
My husband
most people
yeah.
don't.
I was like, "Do I look pregnant?" And he was like, "Well, you'd have to stare at you for a little while."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm
That's
like,
the
"Okay, so
worst.
first glance, you're like, no, that girl just, like, looks broken." Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
It's
that
tough.
is so funny.
I love it. That's awesome. I mean, I'm all about, like, owning the bump the whole time, like,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the second you find out.
Yeah, when people are, like, at 8 weeks, like, that's not a bump, like, I'm gonna consider
You
my
know what?
gas, my bloating a bump.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
Mind your own
Bloat
business. Like
I know. And I
Yeah.
feel like every pregnancy, like your body just like gets more efficient at it. So it's like, oh, she's pregnant. Let's start packing on the weights on the
That's
sides. And
make room.
because like I have size small stuff, and I'm kind of the same. I'm like in between a small and a medium. Like it, like some days, some weeks of marathon training, I'm a medium, a hard medium, maybe
exactly.
bigger. And then some weeks
Exactly.
I can fit a little bit smaller. And it's just like right now, everything is just tight on the waistband. I'm like, I'm not even halfway. Like, how
Mhm.
is this
Those
possible?
first few weeks are tough on the waist. It's
I
like,
Yeah.
know.
"What's
You're
happening
like, it
here?"
needs to go out, not sideways. Like,
Oh.
I'm already boxy. I need it to go out.
Oh my gosh,
Oh my
that was me with my daughter. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be wide now. That's amazing. I don't even know how to dress for that." I was like, "Am I gonna be like that postpartum?" But it's just those early weeks, but I have so many pictures where I'm like, I thought I was so wide. Like, I
Yeah.
yeah, it was like every week I was like, "I'm just getting wider. This is"
Is this gonna stop?
Yeah, it was
Oh.
oh my gosh, I was like, I'm not, like, eating everything in sight. I was eating a lot, but yeah, it's so funny. Do you have any cravings or anything?
Not really anymore. I feel like early on a
Mhm.
little bit, but more so aversions than cravings. Like
Oh, really?
I just didn't want like I'm like such a creature of habit that I always eat the same things. And then when I got pregnant, I didn't want like any of those things. Like I like
Oh,
didn't want protein shakes. I didn't want like some
oh,
of like the vegetables that we eat every night for dinner. Like there were just things that I was like, oh, I'm not having that right now. But as of like a few weeks ago, I feel like I'm back to like, okay, I can eat my normal stuff and like not avoid vegetables anymore.
that's good. Not avoid vegetables, that's good. Yeah.
That's such a good, like, thing for people to hear because I think we get so, like, consumed in, "Oh, this baby has to have the best of the best," and literally, we have a joke in my family that, like, my husband's like, "I know she's pregnant when she wants Taco Bell." I don't
Yes.
want it, like, any other time of the year, but, like, when I'm pregnant, I'm like, "Nacho Bell Grande, bring it on." I want that large Coke with it too.
I feel like Chipotle was definitely
Chipotle.
ordered many a time during that first trimester. It was like a weekly thing. I think
Oh, yeah.
Jared even offered to get it for me today because I was like, "I have
That's
a
so
busy day."
awesome.
He was like, "Do you need Chipotle?"
The answer is always yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like when you're pregnant, like, once you get something in your head of what you want, there's, like, no going
Yeah.
away from it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
other times in my life, like, I can be like, "Oh, I really am craving Chipotle, but we have food at home, like, I'm not gonna do that." But when you're pregnant, like, once that seed is planted, you're like, "I'm sorry, but there's what I actually meant is we're getting Chipotle." Like, it's not
Yeah.
a possibility, like
It's a non-negotiable. No, that's
yeah.
so true. I feel like that's actually even stronger than than just having, like, crazy cravings is
Yeah.
just when you're, like, very locked in on something
Yes.
that's
Once you
oh,
think of it, it's not
yeah.
going away. Like
It's
No,
like
not.
so
that's gonna
true.
stay there until it is appeased. Like we need to do something about this either now or in a little bit.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So funny.
Well, I
Oh,
kinda wanna talk about a little bit before we close, your hypothyroidism, right, is what you
Yeah.
have?
Yep.
So, when did you find out that you had that? And then, like, what has been some, like, adjustments you've had to do, like, along the way with your running career?
Yeah, so I actually found out I had it It was right after I graduated college, so it would have been, like, 2017-ish, and I actually had another miscarriage in college, which they think yeah, which is why I was considered high risk for this
Yeah.
3rd one, which is a piece of the puzzle that I don't think many people know or
No.
realize as to why I was so panicked about that 2nd miscarriage. It's
Yeah.
because even though it was a different partner and, like, it was not a
Yeah.
planned pregnancy, it happened and, like, it was around the same, like, 6, 7-week mark as the 2nd miscarriage. So, they think that, I was hypothyroid even before that, and that, like, the hypothyroid is what caused both of them because it, like, just was not I didn't even know I had it back then, but then after that miscarriage happened, I knew something was off, like, hormonally within me, and they went and they checked, and they found out it was, like it's called Hashimoto's, so basically
Okay.
your like, body attacks your thyroid until it doesn't work anymore, so you have to keep, like, increasing dosage over the years to keep up with the fact that, like, your thyroid works less and less every single year, um, and so that's where it gets tricky to manage because, like, you have to keep up with this ever-changing, like, level of medication, and so, yeah, I found out back in 2017, and it was pretty stable, but they didn't really tell me when I went in to, like, get pregnant like, this time around that your thyroid has to be within a sub-range of the normal range for pregnancy, and so I didn't know that, and, like, it just wasn't in that sub-range, so
Wow.
That's so
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
it's a lot. It's crazy that, like, there are things like that that, like, just aren't common knowledge to us
Yeah.
as, like
yes.
as women. Like, why was that not presented to me,
Before,
like,
yeah.
several times as a woman with hypothyroid? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like that has been something that has been told to me at every single appointment that I've had either
Absolutely.
with an OBGYN or a, endocrinologist, but I had never heard it until after my 2nd miscarriage about any of those things, but as far as running goes, like, as long as it's well managed, like, I don't really notice a difference. I know some people do, especially if they're doing, like, more intense or higher mileage stuff, like, you can get fatigued pretty fast and stuff like that, but for me, as long as I'm eating enough, it really comes down to just, like, managing my medication.
Okay.
That's great.
That's
That's great.
yeah.
I'm glad that you're speaking I've said that like 3 times. I'm like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're speaking about this," but
No, for
I'm
sure.
really glad that you're speaking about this.
Yeah, it's such
Sure.
a common thing too. It's, like, more common than you would think. Like, a
Yeah.
lot of people have hypothyroid,
Yeah.
like and I just feel like there isn't that much out there about it.
No. In general, I feel like there's also not a there's more conversation now for women that are in, like, their 40s and stuff about hormone imbalances, but
Yes.
there's definitely not a lot for people that are in their 20s when, that's when our bodies are finally maturing and we're settling into, kind of who we are, and so it's crazy that you didn't have any of that information and that, like, you could
No.
have had more tools. Like,
I know,
why wouldn't
I
that have been
know.
presented to you? So,
Yeah,
it's just
it's
really
crazy. But I feel like with hypothyroid, like, you really have to manage all of the other things, like your stress, your sleep, your nutrition, like, all of those things become hyper important because your endocrine system is already working against you. Like, your endocrine system is already at a disadvantage. So, like, anything you can do to manage your stress and manage, like especially because running does add stress, like, that's inevitable. Like, running is a stressor, it's going to cause stress on your body, it's going to cause your body to, like, be imbalanced a bit. So, you really have to manage those other, like, parts of the scale, like getting enough sleep, getting enough hydration, if you're like I cut out gluten because it was just one thing that, like, there's some evidence to say that, like, gluten and some dairy, like, doesn't help the thyroid, so cutting those out has helped, and, like, there's just some dietary things like eating Brazil nuts for selenium and stuff that can be helpful for the thyroid, and so really just doing your research on what you can do to help your body, like, actually be at 100% because your body's never gonna be at 100%. So you have to, like, make sure you're capitalizing on anything else that you can in order to make up for the stress that you do have.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's cool though that you're talking about the hypothyroidism because since it is so common, I mean, think of how many other women or athletes that are out there that are battling that same thing, and you're showing them like, hey, it doesn't need to stop me, from my goals.
Mhm.
Like you still tackle that sub 120 and it's like so incredible to see you do that with all the barriers that you could have had in your way and you figured it out along and I think just like having, like you said, just having grace in yourself, figuring out the doses of medication and adjusting where you can, knowing that you're never going to be 100% like somebody that doesn't
Yeah.
battle that, but that you could still get out there and like shoot for big goals. Like it doesn't need to
Yeah.
hinder your life.
Yeah, we all have things, like, that are working for us and working against us, and you just gotta figure out what yours are and how you can best make the best of the hand that you're dealt, basically.
Mhm. Definitely. Well, as we wrap this up, just like a last question, how do you hope that your story can encourage other moms that face similar things that you've been through, whether it's a loss or health challenges or anything like that?
I just hope that people, keep going, like, it is so hard to hit roadblocks or to hit these challenges or to deal with, like, these setbacks, but really, like, we all just have to navigate it the best way that we possibly can, and I feel like there's always better things ahead as long as you just keep going and you just keep trusting that things are going to work out and get better, so, yeah.
It's a great perspective. It's so
Yeah.
positive. I love it.
And think about like all the girls that haven't had their first kid yet that are watching you. Like, I'm sure your audience has a
I
lot of
do hope
younger
that I
girls.
inspire them,
Oh,
yes.
you absolutely like, you inspire me, and I'm a mom to my having a 7th kid, like, watching you just get out there and continue to train with your goals and adjust where you need to, like, it's a humbling reminder that, like, it doesn't need to prevent us from things if it's not high risk or if we're not, like, in a detrimental state with our pregnancy, right? And I think you just give a lot of hope to other women out there that are maybe considering their first kid and wondering, like, "Am I gonna completely lose myself, or can I have both?"
Yeah.
So it's really cool that you've taken your audience along on that, and I just, like, I get chills thinking about just how many young girls get to see moms like you that are out there pursuing goals and having that family life because
Yeah.
it wasn't always shown like that. Like, I remember growing up as a kid not seeing that as prevalent as I
Mhm.
do now.
Yeah, I think women in general are just getting so much more
Yeah.
multifaceted, like, we're just like, "Ah, yeah, I can do it all, so I'm gonna."
It's so true. That's so true. I know. You are so inspiring and your baby is gonna be so lucky to have a very
Yeah.
exciting life, like just with all the goal. I mean, like, look at the goal that you set before 10 years ago. So it just shows that this is inherently who you are. And we started off talking about that your goal now is to go to all the national parks and everything, and that's something super fun for kids to do too. You can
Yeah.
go get all the
No.
junior ranger badges.
So
Yes.
excited to bring our kids along for that adventure.
Yeah. It's just
So fun.
you really have taken life and you're just like, let's just do all the fun things and like motherhood is not going to stop that, And
Yeah,
your
it'll be a
baby's gonna
part of
love
me,
you so
obviously.
much.
I
Yeah,
know.
I'm so excited.
I know. That's so awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Like, we're so excited for this episode to get released. Like, you just have so much to your backstory that, like, from being a newer runner, into later years, and your hypothyroidism, your medical background, and your loss, and now being pregnant and shooting for a marathon. Like, there's so much that people can take from this. So, it's super awesome. Like, we just can't wait. So,
Oh, well, thanks for
um,
having me.
well, thanks for joining us. And then to our listeners that are listening, of course, we started a new platform, as everybody knows. So if you can rate, subscribe, and share this with other fellow moms, we would really appreciate it. It would take us very, very far. And yeah, we're out here. We want to bridge the gap with other mother runners. And so if you want to shout yourself out, or you have somebody that's a good shout out, you can submit that to us at Miles with Moms podcast on Instagram. And then also, Amy, where can they find you? Because a lot of people listen to these episodes and they want to know where you're at. So where can they find you on Instagram or other elsewhere?
Yeah, you can find me at Race Across the States on Instagram, and then all of my coaching stuff and everything is just on my website, aimvirtual.com.
Awesome. Yeah, she
What?
coaches quite a bit of athletes too, so it's super cool. All
You do it
right.
all. You do it
I
all.
know. You
Oh
literally
my
do it all.
gosh. Marathoner, business owner, coach, everything, and mom to be. Like, what?
Yep.
It's awesome.
We'll see what happens after the baby.
You can always hire
Yeah,
out a little bit of that,
yeah,
eh?
yeah.
Well,
All right.
awesome. Well, thanks
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.